Hey everyone, we're gonna start packing some orders here. We've had a busy weekend, snowy weekend here where we're at. We got ship out here, so we'll start packing those orders and we'll talk a little bit as we go about some of these orders. Let's head on over to our eBay area. Hope everyone's had a good weekend so far. We got some decent sales here. Pardon the mess, we're kind of rearranging down here in our eBay area, but we'll talk about our orders as we go along. Alright, our first item here, it's a K&N air filter 332364. We picked up a bunch of these at a local store. They sold this one for $30 plus shipping, so pretty good little find here. Alright, we got that filter packed up. Now we're off to the next item here. Bin B8, which we got right here. Turn this other light on here for us. It's a Christmas stocking. Picked it up last year at I think Hobby Lobby. I think we picked it up at 90% off. This sold for $9.99 plus shipping. So sometimes that retail arbitrage can get us a few bucks here and there. Not gonna make a ton, but you're gonna make a few bucks. So we'll get this packed up. Alright, we got that stocking packed there. Now we have a set of very small vases, set of two. I think we picked them up at a garage sale for a few bucks. Sold for $13.95 plus shipping. Probably paid only a few bucks for them, so let's go grab them. They're an S27. So we'll get. See here, we have everything sorted by shelf numbers, so you can see. We can walk right to our items. So S27, I believe they're in this here. So here we go, right here. See, I told you they were very small. So two of these. So yeah, $13.95 plus shipping. So we probably paid a buck maybe for these, a quarter, whatever. So we'll get you these packed up, then we'll get on to the next item. Alright, next item here is a vintage toy ring thing here. Looks like here, so sold for $9.95 plus shipping. It's not a big sale. I think we picked up at an auction in a big lot, so nothing crazy flip, but I mean we probably only paid a few bucks for it, so if that. So it's in the shelf here. So like I said, working on rearranging, so a little mess, but I'm trying to get you here. Here it is right here, so you can see it. 10.5 shelf. Alright, we'll get this packed up and then we'll be right back. Alright, we got that one packed up. We got those little rings, toys packed up. Next item here is a hat. Well, we've had this hat for, it's one of an OG hats. It's been almost 3 years, 900 and I think 75 days listed. It's got free shipping, so we're not going to make a ton of money. I think we picked this up at a garage sale for a quarter. It's just a simple little corduroy vintage hat here. Sold for 10 bucks, free shipping, so we'll ship it for, it'll cost us probably $5-6. Unique thing about that is a message, and mentioned that he wanted it in a bag. Now, we wouldn't ever ship a hat in a bag. That's just bad. You don't want your hat flattened out in a shipping, but he messaged us and asked for us to put it in a bag because of where he lives. He wants to make sure it gets put inside, so and he's not so worried about it. It's a display hat, so he's not worried about wearing it and the bill being or the top being a little flat. So we'll put it in the bag for him. He's the one that asked for it that way, and we'll ship it out in a poly bag, so it'll save us a little bit of money on the shipping even too, because we would ship that in a box regardless of the price it sells for. And if it's free shipping, we always ship our hats in a box. We want the quality to be the same as what you see in the picture. So let's go grab that and show you what it looks like. It's an A4 here, so A4. So you'll see these boxes here. They were damaged boxes, so that's why they're used for storage. So if you question why I'm using postal boxes for storage, they were damaged, so they all had like cuts or rips in the side of the boxes or the bottom of them, so we fixed them up and they're now a storage shelf for us. So don't get mad at us for having these boxes here that we're using them. They were ruined, so we're using them So better than just going in the trash. So here's this corduroy hat. We'll get this packed up and shipped out. Like I said, it's going to go in a bag since that's what the customer requested. Alright, got that hat packed up. I noticed I was blinding you guys with the light above me here. I shut that off so that way it's not shining in your face. Next order here we'll pack up is a little amber glass plate. I picked up at a local thrift store, probably for a quarter, 50 cents. Sold for, let me show you here. What we got here sold for $14 plus shipping. So like I said, I picked it up probably quarter, 50 cents at a local thrift store. Picked up a whole bunch of them. This is just for a single plate for $14. So we'll go pull this order and we'll be right back. Alright, we're back after a quick little lunch break here. Still packing orders. Just got that amber plate packed up. Obviously that one, a little bit of bubble wrap, a little bit of packing paper to make sure it ships safely. So next item here, we have a Hallmark Stranger Things ornament. I believe we picked this up at Walmart. I think at 90% off. So I think we paid 50 cents, dollar, whatever it is for it. Probably even less than that. Paid $8.99 plus shipping. So this is the second one this week to sell. So I'll show you what it looks like. So that sold for $8.99 plus shipping. So let's go grab that. I believe it's an S37 Tote 3. So we'll go over here to S37 Tote 3. Like I said, this is the second one we've sold this week. So we'll grab it out of here. You can see all the ornaments we have. We picked up a huge lot of ornaments. Set you down here. We'll do a little digging in the box here. You can kind of see some of the ornaments we have. For that Stranger Things. There it is right there. So yeah, like I said, $8.99, free shipping. Alright, we'll get this packed up and we'll be right back. Alright, back here we got our nativity scene. Next item that sold. Sold for $15.95. I believe we picked this up at a garage sale, so $15.95 plus shipping. I think we paid maybe $1 for this item. We've sold a few of these little corn husk figures, looks like. So yeah, those are kind of a cool little item there. We've sold a handful of other ones already this year. Kind of a neat item. So let's go pack that up. Let's go get that and we'll keep talking. So obviously with this being our first video, we'll do some changes along the way. Obviously I know it's kind of me rambling and all that. Let's see here, this corn husk was an N1. N1 is over here actually, so we'll do that. Let's see here, so N1 is right here, so you can see we got different ways of, there he is right there. Grab him here. We'll find different ways, we'll talk about different things as we do this, so that way we can share some of our tips and tricks and some of the things that are going on around reselling. I don't know everything. I've been doing this for 3 years now, so obviously a lot has changed. We've learned a lot. We've followed other people who do videos and what works best for them and what they do. Obviously what works for me may not work for everybody, and we're not the best at it either, so, and nor do we claim to be. While we've continued to grow year after year, we started in end of 22. Obviously we're almost to 26 now, so we're closing in on almost 3 years, 4.5 years now. So we've kept growing. We've really assorted our selection of items. As you've seen, we do some retail arbitrage, we thrift stores, garage sales, a little bit of everything when it comes to item wise. But we'll continue to talk about that. We'll get better at how we do these videos, how we pack orders. We'll show you some of those videos as well. For the most part, we'll do these to start. We'll kind of show what we're picking or what's sold, and then we'll go from there and keep giving you different types of content. So like I said, we're just trying this. If it works, it works. If not, you know what, we're gonna have some fun doing it anyways, as we have fun reselling. So we'll continue to resell even if we don't do content. So so we got that little nativity thing packed up here. Like I was saying, content wise, we're gonna give it a shot. People watch us, people enjoy watching it, we'll continue to do it. If not, we'll continue, like I said, we'll resell. We've only been picking up steam coming along here. So another fun item here that we picked up, I think I picked this up at a thrift store for I think 50 cents. It's expired ink cartridge. It's new, sealed in the box. People, ink cartridge is expensive, so people can get a deal on it. I mean, it's only expired by a little bit. Expired in May of 24, so I'll show you here. So yeah, didn't sell for a ton. It sold for $13.99 plus shipping. So decent little flip there for a cheap little item. So you can always pick those up. Usually you're gonna want them sealed, just because people want them sealed. Even if they're expired, they're still value. So yeah, let's go grab that item here. So let's go see here. I think this is the last. I think that we had 3 or 4 of them. I think this is the last of those, or maybe there's one. There might be one more. I think there was an extra large one that was there. So it's in P3. So P3. So I believe it was this one here, 410. So you can see here. Here's the item. So like I said, it's expired, but ink's expensive. So if you can save a buck, ink doesn't usually go bad by the expiration date. So still a good item. People are always looking. People always need ink. I use a fair share of ink as well too. So yeah, we'll get this packed up and we'll be right back. All right, finally to that last item here. Let's see what we got here. So this item we've had for a little bit. These items came from, we got a bunch of Minnesota Vikings stuff. Came from my brother and sister-in-law. They used to resell pallets, and they came across a large quantity of Minnesota Viking stuff. They had Minnesota Viking license plates, keychains, Milwaukee Brewer shirts, a bunch of sports stuff. And then they live not around any of those teams where they do their live sales at, or where they did their live sales at. So we picked up a bunch of this from them. So just, we don't make a ton of money on them. We got a pretty good price on all of it, but we continue to sell them. So we still have a lot of that inventory left, and it's gonna keep making us money for years to come. So it's kind of nice about those multi-quantity items. Minnesota Vikings, as you can see in the background, we're Cubs, Bears fans here, so not exactly looking for any Minnesota Vikings. No fans of ours, but we'll continue. We'll sell whatever team that can sell, or what we can get our hands on. So this Minnesota Viking license plate frame sold for $15.49, and it's actually free shipping on this. So they're not worth a ton of money. I think we paid maybe a quarter a piece after you break down everything that we got from them. So we're still making $7-8 on this item. So slow sellers, but they're steady. So I'll show you here what it is. So yeah, nothing crazy. So yeah, that's what it looks like. So, but yeah, so we'll go grab that. We'll grab that. I do appreciate you guys tuning in. We'll continue to do these videos. The goal would be 1, maybe 2 of these a week. I don't know exactly how that looks or doesn't look. All right, let's dig in here. So you can see here, it's on a shelf here. So like I said, we're working on trying to get some organization, a little more organized. Everything's labeled in a SKU system, but when you have this, our inventory has grown as much as it has, it makes it definitely change here. Here, I'll grab them out. I shouldn't have to do this. Whoops. Get them lifted out. There we go. There it is right there. So we got a handful of them left. Handful left. We'll get this packed up and then we'll get back to you and we'll wrap up this video. Alright, so we got all the orders packed for today. Well, it's early in the afternoon, so we can still see a few more, but the last of the 10 orders that we're going to share in this video. Like I said earlier, we'll try to do these videos once, maybe twice a week. We got some stuff going on at the end of this week, so we may not get back to it till next weekend. But I appreciate everyone tuning in, and till next time, we'll be back. Thanks.